Do you know what democracy means? Do you know what equality means? Freedom and liberty means? It means that somebody who doesn't want to involve themselves in this process has every right to do so. I might not agree with them, but that under current circumstances, with liars abounding, I cannot blame anyone for a disengagement with politics now. On one side, I see a liar, a self-confessed liar. On the other side, they want more, but I've got to say, there's just a lack of unity, it seems. And then we come to dear old UK. Oh my God. A Labour Party that promised so much and is delivering so little. A Conservative Party that can't even find the new leader again. A reactionary party that isn't reactionary at all. Sounds a bit like the old Libs from the late 60s. Sorry, Mr. Farage, I know you like to brown nose Mr. Trump, but on this occasion you're a total... And they're surprised Brexit isn't working. People like me were saying Brexit wouldn't work about 10, 15 years ago. If I got a year or two wrong, don't sue me. Brexit was never going to work. You bunch of fools. Why did you actually think it would? Ugh, idiots. Borders, tariffs, tax, VAT. And we wonder why the young disengage from politics. How about our politicians are a bunch of liars? So are those in France and Germany. And most of the European nations, actually, if you think about it, for longer than 10 seconds with an IQ of over 80. Politicians want to do well. They want another term. Why? Could it be because they couldn't work a sewing machine in a factory? Done that. Horrible job. Why do people want to be politicians? I know a few say, because I want to do good. Yeah, I became a policeman because I wanted to do good. I stayed there for 11 days and I left for the same reason they closed the training camp. Institutionalised racism and violence. Such rhetoric is soporific to me. It genuinely makes me want to fall asleep. Please don't treat me like an idiot, and that's what these people do. I would like to think that politicians tell the truth. I would like to think that when I place my X on the ballot sheet, I'm doing it for somebody who is worthy of that. If you're not worthy, please don't be a politician. Go and find another job. Become a seamstress in a factory somewhere, because that's all you're worth. If you're going to spend your days lying about your false promises, you're not worth it to our society. When I say our society, I'm talking about the United Kingdom. Everyone. We don't need lying politicians. We've seen too many of them. I can list... I don't think my arm's long enough. I was going to say I could write them on my arm, but no, you can't. There are too many corrupt politicians. Not just the English, the French, the Germans, the Americans. It seems as soon as somebody gets into power, they change dramatically. I want to help the people. You all prove it. Don't improve your bank balance on our books. Don't make false promises like Mr. Starmer has recently done. Now I'm excluding a bit about taxes, by the way. It's his whole interpretation of the NHS fiasco that's really peeving me off right now. Whilst he claims his allowances. But it seems like if you get a reasonable income, you can say and do what you want. A bit like Mr. Starmer. He can say what he wants. Doesn't mean it's true, though. Mr. Starmer, the leader of the New Conservatives. Because that's how I think of them. They are putting forward policies right now that they would scream if the Conservatives had tried to put them through 2 years ago. And they're getting away with it. Why? Because we wanted to get rid of the Conservatives. So what do we have now? The New Conservatives. If I was feeling more bouncy, I'd do a rally and bounce around the room going, "Oh, the New Conservatives!" Because that's how I perceive them right now. If he can take money from the working classes and give it to the middle classes, he will. Because then he can tax the middle classes. And he can not take money from the rich. I can't even call them working. From the rich classes who avoided tax for many, many years. And he knows of this. He knows of those people with their vacant flats in London who have avoided tax for years. Under the Conservatives and Labour. I'd like to think of the name of the fellow I want to insult right now, but I can't think of his name. Slimy Toad who said we had to go to fight against missiles of destruction. Oh God, what was his name? He was another Labour fellow. Labour. Jeez, more Conservative than Conservative. We need a party for the people. Is it so difficult to think about? This country right now needs to be looked after. We shouldn't be fighting wars in other countries. I'm sorry, we don't fight them, do we? We just fund them. We fund the death of children. We fund the death of hospitals. I get annoyed. My apologies. Whether it be Ukraine or Israel, we have no right to be there. Our pensioners need that money. The NHS needs that money, Mr. Starmer. And if you can't do the job, somebody should be doing the job for you. Because there's no question about it, you are not looking after the British people. And again, sorry, I'm being parochial. The United Kingdom. You're not looking after the United Kingdom. You're helping Ukraine. You're helping Israel while people die in this country through lack of warmth, Mr. Starmer. While the NHS is continually underfunded. And you feel it's okay to criticise. You're as guilty as anybody else. You were in the government before that underfunded the NHS. So please don't try to be clever with us. We're not stupid. Oh, I've just thought of the right name for this particular video. I'd like to say that we got what we voted for, but we didn't. We voted for change, and what have we got? More of the same. You get your allowances, Mr. Rich Man. Your wife gets looked after, Mr. Rich Man. And pensioners suffer. The NHS suffers, and you continue to fund Ukraine and Israel, Mr. Starmer. You vote for these things. So you're responsible. Not Joe Soap down the road, you. You are responsible for the deaths of old people, for the situation in the NHS. Now, grant you're not responsible for the governments before you, but you're responsible for what happens now. You're accepting inward investments, which means other people make profits from your lack of investments. Let's get real here. I've seen it happening. As somebody working in the NHS and as a patient, I've seen other people making profit from the NHS when it should be coming back to the NHS. Please don't make excuses, Mr. Starmer. Reduce your own expenses. Stop investing in other people's wars. Keep our pensioners warm. And start investing real money in the NHS. That money can come from, shall we say, nom-doms in London with empty flats who have not paid their own tax for many years. Now, I know it's not just Labour who have allowed this one. Mr. Sadiq? Oh, can't? Does it matter? Corruption begets corruption. We all know these people exist. They don't pay their taxes, and the rest of us are left to struggle. Mr. Starmer, stop investing in other people's war. Plural. Start investing in our country. Start investing in Great Britain. Start investing in people who need your help. The Israelis don't need your money. Our money. They've got enough of their own. They can afford to build an Iron Dome. We've got more homeless centres and soup kitchens. I know, I worked on one for 17 years. Mr. Starmer. I had the experience you'll never have. I lived a life. You're privileged. You're prepared to watch people starve and die. That's what your class do. Oh my God, I made such a mistake voting for you. Sorry, in truth, it wasn't you I voted for. If I'd have known who and what you were, I would not have voted Labour this time around. All I wanted to do was get the Conservatives out. What did I get? Starmer and then you Conservatives. Yeah, great. Just, please, try to think of Great Britain. For a change. That'd be nice.